Trump clutches Melania's hand as she is seen close-up for the first time in 27 days and tells her people love you, just hours after a Twitter rant about the fake news of her disappearance. President Donald Trump reassured Melania Trump people love you, honey, after he tore into the fake news in a Twitter rant defending his wife and accused the media of covering up the First Lady's recovery along with promoting vicious rumors about her. Melania Trump made her second public appearance since her kidney surgery Wednesday afternoon when she joined the president at a briefing on hurricane preparedness at FEMA. The president, reading from a note card, introduced our great First Lady at the briefing and said, "She went through a little rough patch but she's doing great." The room applauded the First Lady at his words. "The people love you. Thank you, honey," he added and reached out to touch her hand. The First Lady sat next to the president during the briefing. Reports from in the room said she looked well and healthy. She wore a tan trench coat and hurricane heels as her stilettos were named when she wore a pair en route to Texas to survey damage from Hurricane Harvey. Melania Trump typically wears high heels and is rarely seen in flats or sneakers. She did not speak at the briefing when reporters were present in the room. She sat quietly during the president's remarks, looking at him as he spoke and also around the table as Trump called out members of his cabinet for acknowledgement and accolades. After the briefing, the president and First Lady visited the National Response Coordination Center. Melania Trump walked around the room to shake hands with workers. After the FEMA visit, the couple returned to the White House where they were seen holding hands after exiting the motorcade. It was Melania Trump's second public appearance this week. She attended a White House reception for Gold Star families on Monday night, which marked her 25th day. She had not been seen in public since the White House announced she underwent a kidney procedure. Earlier on Wednesday, Trump fired off an attack about the questions that arose from her long stay outside the public eye. Trump wrote that the press reported everything from that his wife was near death to having left the White House or had a facelift. He also claimed, without providing any specifics or explanation, that the press had reported she had left him or been abused. "The fake news media has been so unfair and vicious to my wife and our great First Lady, Melania. During her recovery from surgery they reported everything from near death, to facelift, to left the W.H. and me, for N.Y. or Virginia, to abuse. All fake. She is doing really well," Trump wrote. Then further he claimed the press had covered up her presence at the White House. 4 reporters spotted Melania in the White House last week walking merrily along to a meeting. They never reported the sighting because it would hurt the sick narrative that she was living in a different part of the world, was really ill, or whatever. Fake news is really bad. At least one reporter, from CNBC, tweeted out a Melania sighting, which Daily Mail.com and other publications tracking her disappearance from public view reported. The First Lady made her first public post-surgery appearance Monday night at an event closed to the press honoring Gold Star families. Daily Mail.com ran images obtained from inside the closed event. She did not attend the flag-waving Celebration of America event on Tuesday afternoon. The president may not be distinguishing between media reports and the rolling conversation that takes place every day on Twitter. One user, Victoria Brownworth, who has identified herself as a Pulitzer Prize-nominated journalist and lesbian activist, wrote last week, "I want to know where #Melania Trump is because Trump has beaten his other wives and sexually assaulted his first wife and a couple dozen women." She also wrote, "Has Trump assaulted Melania and she is still recovering? Is that what caused her kidneys to bleed? Because kidneys don't bleed easily," she wrote. Liz Lenz, the editor of an essay site called The Rumpus, wrote, "Can everyone calm down? Melania probably just got plastic surgery. It's fine." She added over the weekend, "Also I'm not surgery shaming, I tend to get Botox and a neck lift. But what I am saying is stop trying to weave a narrative that makes Melania a victim in a situation where she is complicit." Trump himself has used Twitter to float a facelift conspiracy to needle a rival. He wrote last year during a feud with MSNBC co-host Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough, "I heard poorly rated at morning_Joe speaks badly of me, don't watch anymore." Then how come low IQ, Crazy Mika, along with Psycho Joe, came to Mar-a-Lago 3 nights in a row around New Year's Eve. and insisted on joining me. She was bleeding badly from a facelift. I said no. The First Lady visited several parts of the United States that were devastated by hurricanes last year. In her August 2017 visit to Houston, which was damaged by Hurricane Harvey, the First Lady was criticized for wearing stilettos heels as she left the White House to head south. By the time Air Force One landed in Texas, she was wearing sneakers and a black baseball cap that read FLOTUS. She also joined the president in his October visit to Puerto Rico, which was devastated by Hurricane Maria, and once again wore hurricane heels to board Air Force One but was in yellow hiking boots by the time she deplaned. But her September visit to Florida, suffering in the wake of Hurricane Irma, found her in sneakers. Additionally, Melania Trump filmed a public service announcement that called on Americans to continue assisting relief efforts in the aftermath of Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria. The President and I have witnessed firsthand the compassion and commitment of Americans as friends, neighbors, and strangers continue to volunteer time and money to help one another following the recent hurricanes, she said. Your help is still needed. At the event at the White House on Monday, Melania Trump appeared well as she was videoed walking in. She was wearing a black dress and 6-inch black heels, several attendees told the Daily Mail. Melania stayed for the whole ceremony, which was nearly an hour long. She didn't speak but sat in the front row as the president spoke, attendees said. Diana Pike of Phoenix, Arizona, said the First Lady looked beautiful and as put together as she always does, and that she wore crazy high black heels. Nancy Wilson said the First Lady spoke to families in the room. In a statement Monday night, Melania said it was a privilege to welcome the families to the White House. It was a privilege to welcome Gold Star families to the White House today to recognize our nation's fallen heroes and their families. To all those who have lost loved ones in service to our country, our nation grieves with you, she said. Thank you to those who joined us this evening and to the men and women currently serving overseas and to their families. Thank you for your service. We send our prayers to all of those in harm's way, and may God bless the United States of America. Speculation has been rife about the whereabouts of Mrs. Trump ever since she went in for an operation on her kidney on May 14. Laughing off the rumors that have spread around Washington like wildfire, Trump refuted speculation the couple have split, saying it was a no-go. Isn't that right, honey? According to Daily Caller reporter Jenna Green, who was in attendance as a Gold Star daughter, Trump also spoke about his wife's surgery and said Melania had a little problem a few weeks ago, but wouldn't miss this event for anything. The event honored military families. Gold Star families are those who have lost a loved one in a war. The White House held a similar reception last year. Roberta Lyons Nolan, of Pennsylvania, said it was a very emotional ceremony where the names of the deceased were read and a candle was lit for each one. It's unknown when her next appearance will be after her attendance at Wednesday's hurricane briefing. The First Lady will not accompany President Donald Trump to the G7 summit in Canada on Friday or to his historic summit in Singapore on June 12. She will not attend either of the prominent international events, Grisham told the Daily Mail. She will not attend the G7 and there are no plans for her to travel to Singapore at this time, Grisham said in a statement on Sunday evening. Spouses often accompany leaders to G7 meetings. But Melania will not make the trip to Quebec on Friday, where President Trump is expected to get grief for his new tariff policy. A year ago Melania joined her husband in Taormina, Italy, for a G7 meeting where she famously wore a $51,000 Dolce & Gabbana jacket. She participated in public appearances with the spouses of other G7 leaders, including a formal dinner and taking in a performance by La Scala Philharmonic Orchestra at the ancient theater of Taormina. She will also not attend the historic summit with South Korean President Kim Jong-un in Singapore on June 12, where the president hopes to sign a nuclear disarmament deal. The First Lady has gone on other prominent international trips. She joined the president in Asia in November of last year and accompanied him to France in April of this year. She also made a solo trip to Canada in September of last year to lead the U.S. delegation to the Invictus Games, where she met with Prince Harry. Before Monday evening, Melania Trump was last seen in public on May 10, when she joined her husband to welcome the return of 3 Americans who were being held captive in North Korea. The First Lady underwent an embolization procedure on Monday, May 14, likely to remove a cyst from her kidney. Her office said it was benign, or non-cancerous. She spent a week in the hospital recovering at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center. She returned to the White House on Saturday, May 19. Some medical professionals said the 5-day hospitalization was long for such a procedure. In a May 30 tweet, the First Lady needled the media for speculating about her whereabouts. "I see the media is working overtime speculating where I am and what I'm doing. Rest assured, I'm here at the White House my family, feeling great, and working hard on behalf of children and the American people." However, the tweet only brought more questions, as President Trump has been known to use phrases like working overtime in his own tweets. The White House has swatted down some conspiracy theories that have popped up, including one that held she wasn't even in the White House. The blog Showbiz 411 quoted a source as saying the reason the First Lady hasn't been seen in public in 21 days is because her mother, Melania Neves, is very ill. A source told the gossip website, "She's taking care of her mother, who is battling a pretty serious illness." "They're all at Bedminster," the source said. "Melania, her parents, Barron when he's not in school. She's, Melania, not in the White House." However, the First Lady's office knocked down the report as false. "Everything about that blog is false and incorrect," her communications director Stephanie Grisham told the Daily Mail. Victor and Melania Neves moved to the Washington, D.C. area after Trump won the election to help care for their grandson, 12-year-old Barron Trump, who is in a local school. They are legal permanent residents of the United States and often travel with the Trumps, Grisham told the Daily Mail. Last week that the First Lady has been meeting with her staff on the Be Best initiative and working on upcoming projects like the annual White House Congressional Picnic and 4th of July plans. But the lack of photos of her at work led to multiple conspiracy theories. Politico reported Wednesday there are a variety of theories being bandied about. She's moved back to New York City. She's cooperating with special counsel Robert Mueller, she's living with the Obamas, working on a tell-all book, or she had a secret nip and tuck that she's healing from.